Hello there folks, and welcome back to Space Engineers Exploration Mode. Some of you might be wondering, I only put out a short video this past weekend. What was I up to all weekend? And let me answer your question with a question. Why are all of our materials gone? Well, not all of them, but pretty much all of them. We have a little bit of construction components that I made and some ammunition left. That's about it. There's not much left other than just raw materials at this point. Oh, it looks like we have some metal grid as well. So, what did I do with all this stuff? Well, let me show you. This is sort of via request. I know this is kind of extremely stupid, but I took all of the materials that we had to make a grinding ship so that we can get materials. I know it's very, very, very counterproductive, but I gotta admit this ship is probably one of my first ships that I actually tried to design well, which is why I didn't actually make a montage of it, because I kept on ripping it apart and putting it back together and doing all sorts of things so I could actually make it look kind of cool. At least I think it looks cool as far as a grinding ship goes, because it has to have this massive flat section to grind. I tried to make it look as cool as I could. And because this is, well, you know, something in space, there is really no up or down or side. So really, when we go inside, I'll show you all about that. So here we have an array of, I think it's close to 160 something grinders or 200 something grinders. Anyhow, it's just a flat array of them. On the bottom we have a flat array of connectors that connect to some cargo containers inside the actual ship part of the ship, which has these cool little, I don't know, they almost look Art Deco spires to them, maybe? Windows spire thing. Anyhow, inside of here we have some cool stuff we're going to show you, but this is the bottom of the ship, technically, but there really is no bottom, or really no top, but we have some Gatling cannons to protect us from just incoming fire. It's not going to be offensive armament. It's never meant to be. However, there is heavy armor here to block incoming fire if anything ever happens, because enemy ships do spawn and they do get really close, so it does behoove us to have some defensive firepower. There is our antenna. We have connecting ports so that we can get the material that we grind away. We have some engines on the bottom as well. And then I also tried to evoke the design of the Voyager ship with these kind of little fins off to the side as well. And there's a door in here somewhere that will lead to the inside of the ship. This is the door, which will lead to this, which is really just one room for the most part. But that's all we really need. And we have our airlock here. I suppose I can turn on my heads-up display. Do I have my light on? Yes, I do. So inside of here, we have our interior of the grinding station ship thing. And it is a ship. I know we were debating making it a station, but it is a ship. And here we have, wow, this DirectX 11 is really, really weird when it comes to lighting. It's like really, really bright over there and then pitch dark right there. It's kind of not very realistic. So we'll turn on our headlamp and fix that, I suppose. So we just shoved a whole bunch of gyroscopes on the side to help make the ship a little bit more maneuverable. In fact, it's a fairly maneuverable ship the way it is right now. We have an oxygen tank, oxygen generator. All of this stuff's hooked up via connectors. We have an arc furnace to grind apart or not to grind apart, but to break apart the scrap metal into its constituent components and put them into these cargo containers right here. And these main cargo containers are for the, well, main components, and they also lead up to the Gatling cannons to feed them with ammunition. Also, there's this conveyor tube down there which leads to the Gatling cannons down there. We have a medical station just in case. And yes, there's artificial mass here. I did put a gravity drive on this to make it quicker, and by God, it's quick. However, it's unbalanced, so I had to put a couple of extra mass blocks here, and we'll take a look at why it's unbalanced in a bit. I actually can't figure out the exact reason, because I know I made everything symmetrical as far as the gravity drive goes, but I think it's because the center of mass of the ship is off. Anyhow, this leads up to the cockpit, which we will take a look at. Right now, there's nothing in here. Just a whole lot of nothing. Well, so far. We do have some uranium in our reactors. I think that's about it. Yep, there's our reactors. Yep, so 49.97, because I just turned on the ship not too long ago, and I put 50 uranium in both reactors, so there's that. I tried to put as many interior lights in here as I could, and I tried to increase the radius as much as I could, but still, despite that, there's these really dark areas. I mean, I have these radiuses turned up really quite high, but for some reason DirectX 11 likes to make darks really dark and brights really bright. So we'll just walk around with our headlamp on all the time, so we can actually make sure there's no spooky ghosts hiding out in the corner or something. I don't know. Alright. Fly up to the actual cockpit, because that's just engineering for the most part. Then you'll see this funny little thing, and we'll have the command center for the grinding station, and we also have the little control panel, button panel right here. This one turns on the grinders. Cool. This one toggles the primary gravity drive block on and off, which we probably don't want to do right now because we're faced towards that way, and that's the way the gravity drive will push us, which will kill us. So let's not do that. This one I think just turns the gravity drive off. Or is it, no, this is primary gravity. This is the primary gravity, the thing that holds us on the station, I believe. Yeah, so there we go. No gravity, gravity. This gravity drive itself actually turns the gravity drive off. It's an emergency off switch, because I found out this is an incredibly quick ship. Anyhow, and then this is just for interior lights. And this is the thing that we can use while we're grinding to make sure that everything is in ship shape. And then this is our actual pilot seat. And you're probably wondering why it's pointed like this. Well, that's because if we zoom out, the gravity for the gravity drive is pointing in a certain direction, which means I had to make the piloting seat face in a certain direction. Otherwise, we'd have control issues. Translation issues, actually. So we're right there, and the gravity drive will push us in, well, that direction where the crosshairs are pointing. So let's just turn it on very, very briefly because it's really, really powerful. Also, I have to turn off that. Yeah, as you see, just for the blip that I turned it on, we went all the way up to 25 meters per second. If I leave this on for a second, we will go really, really fast. So I may have overdone it with the gravity drive, but I did set up all of the components so that all we need to do are press buttons and it happens, which is cool. And because this thing has a lot of thrusters on it, we really don't need to use the gravity drive too much unless we're going across large distances, which we will be doing, which is why I put the gravity drive on here, so we don't have to use our thrusters to get up to speed, because this thing will get up to full speed in about 5 seconds. And when I say full speed, that's around 460 something meters per second is what I have it currently set at. So anything past that, the physics gets really, really strange. So we're gonna get a little bit closer to this, and we're gonna try to grind up a ship this episode. So as you see, the grinders are there. We'll put a mass block on the ship that we're grinding, and then turn the grinders on, and the ship will just get ground up to little bits until there's nothing left. And that's the idea. So, okay, well, let me just slow down a bit and turn on our gravity drive briefly, because I don't have very good brakes on here, so I don't want to overdo it. Alright, there we go. I think this is going to be good enough. Well, maybe I'm going to get a little bit closer to that ship, because we're going to try to grind up one of these ships this episode that we have just sitting there that are waiting to be ground up. Ooh, too fast, too fast, too fast. Way too fast, way too fast. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Okay. I should put in a button that reverses the gravity so that we can brake really quickly as well. Alright, so here we are. I'm going to try to position this in a way that won't get in the way. Well, that's good enough. Alright, so let's exit the ship. Unfortunately, there is only one exit, but I didn't really have enough room up top to put an airlock. So there's going to be that. Oh, did I turn off my gravity? I did turn off my main gravity. That's right. I'm going to have to go back up top. Turn on the gravity. I believe this is the one that does that. Yep, there we go. And this 1G of gravity will be more than enough to get everything ground up. I do not have to turn on the gravity drives from the gravity drive, the gravity generators from the gravity drive to get the things all ground up, because that'll actually end up probably pushing the hulk of the wreckage of the ship through my grinding ship, which would not be a good thing. So let us leave. I believe our exploration ship right now is hooked up to the Cookie Monster. We might as well just try to get that working. I just realized I don't know if I have enough components to actually make a mass block. I might have to grind up some stuff so I can make mass blocks to put on that ship. Alright, where are you? You're going to be down here. And I'm not sure, there might be mass blocks on this already. Well, anyhow, let's bring this guy towards our grinding ship to test it out fully. In fact, I'll meet you back when we're actually there, because it'll be a little bit of a struggle to try to get it there, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, well, we have it in place. That actually took quite a bit of effort. I actually had to grind out the reactor in there so I could turn off the, not the SAS, but you know what I'm talking about, the inertial dampeners, because the actual cockpit is completely gone. So now we need to get some mass blocks on it, which means we need some gravity generator components, which we don't have. I had to grind away a couple of other components, so we do have enough to enough stuff to make some mass blocks. I do believe that's good. I do need some gravity generator components. We'll have to make some of those. I know we have enough components to make some, and that should be good then. And once we get those mass blocks on there, that gravity will keep that ship plastered to those grinders over there. So let's grab those gravity generator components, or rather, let's make some. I think Assembler 4 is the only one that can, so let's make 10 of them. I think that's all we need, because these are small blocks. Therefore, they'll only use small amounts, so let's find those. Gravity generator components, we need 10 of those. We don't need these power cells. What else do we need to make the mass blocks? We have the gravity generator components. We have some computers, construction components, steel plate. I think that's really all we need. Let's take a look again. We need more computers than that. So we'll need 20 computers at the very least, so let's make another 10. Well, oh, there we go. They're starting to make them now. So inventory, we're going to look for computers in here. Maybe we even have some left over that I didn't use. Nope, I used them all. Okay, well, that should be good. Alright, where are you? Right over here. Also, when I was bringing this over, I did crash into my glass cockpit, but I do believe the cockpit's fine. It just dented it a little bit, as far as I'm aware. Nothing is broken. Yeah. Actually, I might have just dented... Yeah, I just dented the top here. No big deal. Good thing we have these as heavy armor blocks, but there's a reason I put heavy armor blocks up there, is because I knew something like that would happen eventually. But the windows themselves are fine, and that's what matters. Okay, so let's put a couple of gravity, or not gravity blocks, but artificial mass blocks on here. And that pink is really bugging me, so I'm going to bring it back to a neutral color. Because my default color being pink is kind of annoying. Okay, and oh, that's right, we have to have some sort of reactor on here. However, I do believe that we have enough to make a small reactor. So that'll be fine. That will be fine indeed. And we're going to place them all over the ship, because some of these mass blocks will get ground off. That's just going to happen. And I actually did attempt to remake the power generating station thingamabob in here. I don't know where it actually is. So it'll be pink. It won't be hard to find. I believe it's in this little room in here. If I can fit. Oh. If I go like this, I can fit. Haha. Alright. Yeah, I will have enough to make a small reactor. And we're going to put this near the top. Small reactor. I do believe I also have enough for... Whoop, nope, don't make two. Just one, just one. And because this thing won't be outputting very much power, those thrusters won't be able to do anything. They won't be able to fight the gravity. So, let's throw a little bit of uranium in here. Okay, that should be good enough for our needs. And let's see if I can get out of here, and we'll start the grinders up and detach this, actually. Let's detach this. Detach. Goodbye. And we're going to start the grinders up and see what happens. Also, I got to make sure the mass blocks themselves are on, which they don't appear to be. Okay. I need to find some sort of control station so I can turn them on. I shouldn't have ground away everything in here already. That was a bad idea. The only thing that has any sort of control panel would have been the cockpit, and that's gone. Alright. Maybe I can access it via this. So, control panel. Go to reactor, small reactor, toggle block on. Okay. What about the thrusters? We're actually going to toggle all of the thrusters off. Toggle block off. Artificial mass. We will toggle blocks off on. That should be enough. Okay, it says it's producing power. It says everything is the way it should be, so I might need to make one more reactor just so it has enough power, but there's really nothing else running on this ship at this point. So I would be surprised that those artificial mass blocks are not powered. Strange. Well, as strange as it is, let's make another one. There we go, and finally, let's add some uranium to that as well. Haha, there we go. And it's grinding time. So let's go to our station and watch the magic happen. And it's a good thing to keep the inertial dampeners on the ship on, otherwise the force from the ship on top is actually going to push us. So that's why we have such big thrusters on the bottom, so we don't get pushed while we are grinding. That's also why this ship has a lot of thrusters in general. That and the fact the gravity drive is way overpowered. And this should be big enough to grind most of the military transport as well. So, actually, why don't we just use grinders? Haha. And let's watch the magic happen. And it is grinding it away. In fact, maybe it's time for a sped up video montage. Well, it worked, sort of. I think I need to perfect the art of placing it correctly before starting the grind and putting only the mass blocks on one side. So it's not without its faults, but I'm pretty sure we can make it work much better if I do it more carefully. And speaking of carefully, that ship's drifting off. So where's the rest of our stuff? Okay, so we're gonna go grab our ship over here. Stop that from floating away, and we'll take a look and see what kind of resources we got from that, and then we'll perfect the art of grinding things in future episodes. First shot wasn't so bad, didn't really go terribly wrong, other than the fact that the spaceship's drifting away and we didn't grind up the entire thing, but I wasn't actually expecting it to work 100%. Alright, and we get the ever difficult moving space dock. I'm trying to dock to this thing while it's moving. Much better. Alright, turn on our inertial dampeners, make that thing stop floating away. And let's take a look and see what we got as far as materials go. And we probably should also take a look and see if anything got damaged, so we know what to do in the future and what not to do in the future, because that's also important as well. So as far as materials go, nothing? Oh no, that's where they're all hiding. Okay. In fact, let's just empty all of our stuff in here. Got a lot of steel plate from it, some gravity generator components, obviously from the mass blocks that we put there. Some thruster components and other stuff like that. So, well, this will take a little bit of time to perfect, but I think we can get it. Anyhow, this is a pretty badass ship anyhow. I think that's the coolest part about it. Also, I think I need to make sure that these blocks are all in ship shape after I ran into them. That's better. Probably should also turn off the grinders, that might help too. Alright, well, I think that will be it for this episode. Thank you folks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.